All right, here we are again for reveal number 614. This is a 1952 D roll. This one's been sealed for quite some time. It's got yellowish tape on it. And this yellowish tape is not easy to peel off. And it is old as old gets. Real sticky stuff. There we go. That's got a lot of residue. And so here we go. That's what the coins look like right there. Never seen inside this roll. I've never seen anything inside this roll before. So whatever we get in here is going to be a total surprise to me and you. 1952 D. Pretty well known as being one of the years that I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the coins out of here. There we go. A little bit of an issue with these as being a high producing RPM year. The problem with the RPMs, though, is that probably half of them were listed, then delisted, then some of them relisted again, and it's a troublesome year because they had a broken mint mark punch that year, and there was splits or flattening in the lower serif on about half of the coins produced. And those are not actually RPMs. And then secondly to that, they're just like what Eric says here, there's a lot of bluegills. There's a lot of very minor RPMs. And they just don't have much value. But there are some very nice, very made or die varieties that are possible in 1952D. And that's what we're going to kind of be looking for here. No known double die reverses. 12 known double die obverses. Most of them, they're eyelids. And here we go. Tyler, coin number 1. Coin number 1 is this right here, 1952D. Nothing really there on the obverse for double die or RPM. Check the reverse real quick. Let me back this out just a little bit. I think we've got it just a little bit too tight. There we go. Got nothing there. That's coin number 1. Goes to Tyler. Now coin number 2. Number 2 now, Carl. Get this where these will work right for me here. There we go. Coin number 2 for Carl. Okay. I'm going to figure out exactly what this is. This looks like divergent die gouges or breaks. Kind of going against the idea of an RPM here. Well, there's some chance it could be. No. From the lower side, it looks too clean to really be an RPM, so we're just going to keep moving on this one. Eric, if you think anything different than I do on these, you can just hold them out. Check them, list them, whatever, but I'm kind of with the idea this is just a normal coin here. Let's keep picking. Nothing on the eye. Let me get the exposure time down a little bit to get us a little better sense of what we're looking at here. There we go. There's that doubling on the front of the forehead that's very common to 1952 Lincoln cents. The reverse on this. What are the reverses on the first 10 coins anyway? This is probably what was the ender, because it's kind of dirty. It's got a dab of glue or something on the end of it too. Or is that liquid? That is not liquid. It was at one time, but it isn't now. Machine doubling on the outside edge of the wheat there. So pretty much just not a really pretty coin on the reverse side. Bought a second monitor, so you're ready to get set up. Well, that's cool. Maybe you can come here and help me with the mail, and then I can come there and help you. We need some moonshine, though. I've got some moonshine. It's just, one of them is the pickles. I'm just afraid to try them. I'm not really sure why. But they're pickles in moonshine. That just sounds weird, I guess. I don't know. Maybe the idea of pickles in moonshine might work. Okay, you guys ready? Old man rant. Now that we're into the role and we're kind of know what we're doing here. Well, Eric, come on up, buddy. So, here's my rant, okay? This is an old man rant. Now, proper English out the wayside, okay? Not even thinking about proper English here. We're just thinking about proper common courtesy and the things that you're supposed to say to people. Now, if you are a worker of a restaurant or service industry business or anything to that effect, and someone asks you for something to do your job, you know, like, could I have another glass of tea, please? Or, can we get a room with 2 beds, please? Could I get 10 gallons of gas on pump number 4, please? What you do not answer people with is no problem. When did that start? When you answer people with no problem. Okay, look, I'm not asking you for a favor. I'm asking you for something that's a part of your job. No problem should not be a response you give. Because no problem means that you're telling someone they're not causing you a problem by asking for what you're asking for. It shouldn't be a problem if you get paid to do it. So don't tell me when I ask you for a Coke instead of Dr. Pepper, don't say no problem. I don't want to hear you say no problem. My pleasure. Even yes, sir would work, or coming right up, or whatever you want to say, but no problem? Come on. That's offensive, actually. No problem. Am I wrong? Am I totally wrong? When somebody is responding to you as if you're asking them for a favor to do their damn job? It bothers me. I guess I'm that old that it bothers me. It's actually such a point of contention with me that it makes my skin crawl when I ask for someone to do their job. Now, if I ask you for a favor, if I'm genuinely asking you for a favor, hey, could I get you to turn the music down a little bit? It's a little loud for me. Sure, no problem. That is okay. That's fine. Because I'm not asking you to do your damn job. I'm asking you for a favor. If I'm asking you for a favor, it's perfectly fine to say no problem. You're telling people, yeah, sure, I'll take care of your favor. It's not a problem. But if I'm asking you for your job, you're doing your job. Please top this coffee off for me. Sure, no problem. It's difficult. It's very difficult on me. Shut up, Eric. You're older than I am. This is a minor RPM. Got a little bit of doubling up there on the upper serif and a little split on the lower serif. Not sure whether it's going to be one that's going to be enough that we're actually going to do anything about listing it, but I can tell you that it is a minor RPM. So this one's for Jordan. Missed my email address? Email address cd@coppercoins.com. cd@coppercoins.com. Yeah, I get it, Crispy, but can't we teach people correctly to begin with? Why are they saying no problem when you're asking them to do your job? No, it shouldn't be a problem. Not if you're doing your job. Carl picked up a couple of old books today. You talking about books full of coins? Or old books about coins? Or... Hey, Joe. Asking a lot of teachers today. Why? Because the parents won't do it? Well, there's 3/4 of the problem. Actually, probably 90% of the problem with the next generations, not teachers. Teachers are there to help you learn your arithmetic and your spelling and stuff like that. They're not... Teachers are not there to teach you manners, to teach you proper etiquette, to teach you how to respond properly to people. Major Variety and Oddity Guide. Who did that? Major Variety and Oddity Guide. Who's the author on that book? I think that's a lot of the issues with parents these days is they expect the schools to parent their children. Dude, you have children, you're supposed to parent them yourself. The schools are the supplement, not the parents. And teaching children that it's okay to say no problem when you ask them to do their job is ridiculous. Yeah, they sure could say GFY, but that's not why they're not there to do stuff like that and actually expect to keep their job. They also shouldn't be expecting to keep their job saying no problem when you tell them you would like another glass of tea, or when you tell them that you would, like the red one instead of the blue one. Oh, no problem. It shouldn't be a no problem. It's your damn job. Spadoni, okay. I knew I had heard that title. What year was this one, Carl? I think he did those books from 67 through 74. It's an interesting case of machine doubling there. They're usually not quite that strong. This one's actually pretty nice for machine doubling anyway. 61? Heck, I didn't know they went back that far. Seriously? Really? I thought 67 was as far back as those went. Maybe I'm not as educated as I think I am. Thank you for the education. Yeah, see, we have such a problem in society these days that there's a certain sector of society who thinks it's okay just to walk into stores while they're open, mid-broad daylight, with customers and employees inside doing their thing, and just start smashing and grabbing stuff and walking out the door with stolen merchandise, not caring whether they're caught. What is it with these people? Have they just completely lost their mind? I mean, were they born retarded, or did they have to work on it? $63 on the second edition. Okay. So 61, 63? Huh. I don't know why I thought 67 was the first year he did it. Whoa. Double die time. Could be. Eric, you round? You are. What do you say, Eric? Take a look at this. Let me get it in the light just right so it's easier to see. Man, that's not going to work easy. Let me flip it around upside down and make it easier. Here we go. Now let me get closer to it. See that? On the T there? That's either a die gouge or an extra top to a T underneath the T. Then we'll slowly move it around See if I can give it the shine I'm looking to give it. Probably the other direction. Okay, we'll slowly move it around, going this way. So it has the curvature, slight concavity on the top that you would see on a Class 6, or I'm sorry, Class 6 double die. There. Best way I can show it, and it's a little bit dark, so I'm going to lighten it up a little bit and make it brighter. Now, tell me, doubling or a gouge? The mint mark? There's the mint mark. Let me straighten it up so it's more easily discerned for distance and spacing. Class 8, and it's new. You say doubling too, Carl? Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on that. I mean, I saw it and it was like, whoa, stop. Stop the presses. We have what could be a double die here. And there it is. Again, you got the top of another T kind of showing up under the top of the T. The only other thing this could be is a concentric die scratch that didn't get completely polished away. That would show up most likely elsewhere. Here's the last T. It appears to be completely normal. Let's go on over to the E of we. I see nothing on any other letter that corresponds to whatever that is. Oh, wait a minute. I got some die scratches here and here. There's another one on the G right there. It doesn't quite show up the same way as the others. I mean, it's heavier. It looks more like it's hubbed in. 1D07 is like this, only a different style of mint mark. I think we've got a new double die here. This one's going to eventually go home to Stan, but we may end up needing to take pictures of this coin before that. All right, let's check. Coin number 12. This one goes for Jackalope Herdmaster here. Let me back out on this. Get us back in the right place to look at coins. There will be more, Carl says. Your lips to God's ears, my friend. All right. Is that another one? No, it's not. That one is not a double die, I don't think. Because it's rise from a pit. So that's just here's an S that does the same thing. Well, maybe not. What do we have here? What do we have here? Looks like we've got some of that maybe on the E and on the T. That's a different one. I don't really see it so much on the T except right under here. Over here, I think this is just a shadow from perhaps how the hubbing was done. You can see it under here on the bottom of the E. You see it here on the T over here. And probably over here too. But this right here looks like it could be hub doubling. It's just a little tiny nub there. You thought you saw it in the R on the last coin? Huh. I don't see it in the R on this one though. I don't know. We'll have to study this more closely before we dismiss it as, something other than. But it certainly looks like it could be die variety related material. So we will go ahead and pull this one out too. This is for Jackalope Herdmaster. It's coin number 12. We'll pull it out and we'll see what it turns into. Coin number 13 now. It's going to go to Richard. And coin number 13, we're going to have to back out on just a little bit so we can see everything that we're actually looking for. And then we're going to have to refocus. And then we're going to have to change the lighting. All this done very manually and very carefully by professional hands. And if you ask me to change the lighting direction just a little bit so you can see something better, instead of saying my pleasure or okay or I'll fix that, I'm going to say no problem and look like one of these next generation idiots who don't understand the difference. I could be careful about what I say, but why? Is there really a point? Oh, that was RoboForm trying to correct to the new version. I'm not letting it do it yet because I'm not ready for that. So, yeah, thanks. I had to check the little X on it to make it go away. All right, coin number 14 now. 14, here we go, number 14. Hello, Dave Coleman. I did see that there was some thickness on some of these letters, but some of that is due to strike pressure. Not really seeing hub doubling on the S's. Well, there's not hardly anything for doubling on the mint marks, which is kind of unusual. We're getting action out of the motto these days. Now, this one's completely normal. A little die gouge above the T in trust. But otherwise, completely normal. That one's for Parvas. It's number 15. This one for Ant. Let's see what we can see for Ant. Appears to be more or less normal. Good day, Mr. Dave. Nothing on the eye. And nothing on Igwit. In God we trust. Nowadays we're shortening everything. For what reason, I'm not sure, but we're shortening everything. You know, like when they took Kentucky Fried Chicken and turned it into KFC. I thought, really? Seriously? Let's go to TB for an ST. Sounds almost like the Air Force all over again. TB for an ST. Taco Bell for a Supreme Taco. I'm just not in favor. Just not. Baskin Robbins has now changed their signs to BR31. Yeah, you can see the 31 in the BR, but most people don't because, well, they don't know anything about the old 31 flavors thing because even though Baskin Robbins says it's 31 flavors, they've usually only got 15 out there. Go check. Go count the number of flavors they have out. And then tell the kid working there, you don't have the 31 flavors out that's advertised. What? What? They don't even understand what you're talking about. They don't have a clue what you're talking about. Hello, dog. They don't have a clue what you're talking about because most of the kids who get jobs at Baskin Robbins don't have any idea that Baskin Robbins was the only place that had 31 flavors back in the day. All right. I went to O'Reilly Automotive and picked up an auto part a few days or a couple of weeks back. I was picking up my auto part or whatever I was picking up, maybe paint. I asked the guy working there, I said, are you aware of the location of the headquarters of this company and where this company started? And he said, No, I think it's like Chicago or something. And I said, no, it's not Chicago. It's Springfield, Missouri is where this company was started. Started by a couple of guys that went to school with my parents. You have people working in companies and they don't know anything about the history of the company they're working for. That used to be an interview thing where they would, be able to ask you questions about the history of a company while you were interviewing for a job to see if you did your due diligence and learned anything in the process of trying to figure out your qualification to actually work in the place that you were trying to get a job. Now it seems they don't care. I mean, if they stab you and you bleed and the blood is warm, they want your body to work there. They don't care if you have a brain. I don't know. Am I just like Rain Man or something? Is it that bad? I mean, am I fixable? Can I turn into a modern person, or do I have to writhe around in the hell of being old until I die? Bitter because people are not cordial. People are not nice. People are not. The younger people don't even try to be nice or intelligent about it. I can't even imagine when I was a kid going up to a drive-thru at McDonald's and have somebody take my money and not say a word to me. Now it's normal. It's normal. You go up and you pay, and they quickly give you the change that their machine tells you to give, and then it's right back to their phone. Nothing about the customers like it used to be. I guess it doesn't matter if you're not getting paid enough to raise a 4-child family on McDonald's pay. You can take it out on the customers. I guess that's normal. I guess that's something that should be expected. When I was younger, it was never expected that on a fast food restaurant pay, you're going to be able to raise a family, go get an education, and get a real job. But nowadays, that's offensive. You can't say that. Look, there's another RPM. How about that? I think it's another example of the same RPM we've already picked out of this roll. You got that extra serif on the top. You got a split on the lower part. This one's hit, and it's a little bit strange looking, but I'm pretty sure it's the same die. I don't know. Maybe I should do a... Well, I'm sure it's okay if they're offended. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm not looking to be your friend if I pull up to the McDonald's and order a burger. I'm not looking for friends. I'm not looking for your opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I just care that you do your job. Give me the burger I ordered, and I'll move on. And you may or may not ever see me in your life again. Of course, if you do, you won't remember me because your memory is so short. It's like people don't even try to remember each other anymore. You ever notice that? It's where like 25, 30 years ago, you'd see somebody, and each of you would know that you'd seen the other person, and then you start talking about it. It's like, yeah, I've seen you before. I know I've seen you before. Where did I see you? Where do I know you from? And it wasn't just a pickup line back then. It was genuine curiosity. Hey, there we go. There's another one of those. It was genuine curiosity to know where that person originated today or whenever you know that you last saw them. And now... none of that matters. They spend so much time with their face buried in their phone they wouldn't recognize a person they just saw 3 minutes ago. You're an especially weird police detective if you can see someone and remember the next day that you saw them. That's not normal human things. Not anymore. Is it that we've become so impersonal as a society because we have so many people? Post office picture wall? Honestly, Carl, do you still see pictures on the wall of your post office? I haven't seen that in probably 20 years. I remember seeing it when I was younger. And I know I haven't seen it in a long, long time. Milk carton missing people. You don't see that anymore either. Okay, this is like the 10th time I've seen this. We're going to check in on it. But this little bit on the inside of the upper D right there, that could possibly be a minor RPM. I try all I can to be decent toward people, especially the younger generation people, but so many of them make themselves completely intolerable. I think they do it on purpose. That is on tons of 52D. I get it. And it's likely nothing, but when I see it, I have to mention it thing, you know. It sure looks like something. Could be part of the punch, though. Three each on the reveal show for Mickey. Yes, sir, we can do that. We understand the plight. You'll be on your way home. Won't be able to get in there. Because cell service, even though I-40 is the main east-west route in the United States, one of the busiest highways in this area, you've got very, very spotty cell service on it. I understand. Oh, but do we know why that is? Of course we do. We rely solely on half-proven technology in years in advance of what we should actually trust. I'm going to weigh this coin. It feels wrong. So this is going to be coin number 27. I'm going to weigh this and see where we are with it. It doesn't feel right. Nope, exactly. 3.106 grams. So, sometimes I'm wrong. Proof that I'm human. Or proof that I'm like a human. It doesn't mean I'm proof that I am human. Sometimes my sister insists that I'm not human. No, people can't do that. Right? Humanoid. There you go. It's proof that I am humanoid. 28. 29 now. 28, 29, 28. Where's 29? There's 29 before 30. That shouldn't come that way. There we go. Now we are unscrupled. Well, we've got a couple of relatively minor RPMs. We've got what appears to be a sort of strange new double die. And literally nothing else in a roll of coins where most of the time you'll see a full headache range of split lower serif stuff that might or might not actually be an RPM. And we're simply not seeing that today, which is a good thing. As for double die RPM quality, this roll is probably on the upper end of what we normally see, as what we normally see is a bunch of promises with no return. So we're going to take a little vote here amongst the people who are listening to the show as we speak. Is it right or wrong for me to be somewhat miffed or bothered that the newer generation uses no problem in responses where no problem should not be used? Is it right or wrong for me to be miffed about that? Oh, wow. Happy anniversary, Carl. The man himself, 47 years. Tied to a ball and chain. He's not crazy yet. Dan votes with me. Now, it doesn't matter whether or not you would do it. I'm asking if I'm correct for doing it, for being upset that people use no problem as a response in a situation where no problem should never be said. Of course, Eric doesn't see a problem with it. Even though it's completely incorrect to say something like that, but we don't see a problem with it. Roger! Next possibility. Ah, there we go. Hey, there's a much cleaner looking version of that RPM. Nice, clean looking version. A little tiny die crack coming out of the bottom of the 9 over there. Let me move this into territory that you can see. They also use literally in unilateral terms. Yeah. Did you mean unliteral terms? Your spell checker catch you. Unliteral, yes. That is another one. It's hard on me, but I just think anyone who doesn't really bother learning all the nitnoids of the language by the time they're 30 years old, there's very little hope that they ever will by the time they're 30. They don't do it by the time they're 30. It's like the use of... let me find another one here. One that is especially bad. Using that instead of who in description of a person as a gerund. So, anyone that reads this book. Oh, irregardless. Oh, my God. There's another really good one for you. Fat Baxter. Enjoy seeing you, brother. I wish I knew where you went when I don't see you. I mean, nobody has to be around all the time, right? But we enjoy seeing our brethren once in a while. Another one for Carl here. Let's see what we can find. See if we find that little double die for us again. That's actually kind of a cool looking coin. And oddly enough, I've not seen them of late in this roll. But yes, back to my point of what I was talking about with regard to using the word that instead of who to describe a person. Those that read the book. Those that died last year. Those are people that did this. We're up to coin 35. Not quite 5 o'clock yet. Eric has a 5:30 reveal scheduled. I'm trying to get him done as quickly as I possibly can. However, I get on my little rants about people not having any social wherewithal You have a 25th anniversary coming up, Mickey? Good gosh. I don't know that I'll ever hit 20. I think we just did 12. Of course, if I had managed to be able to stay married to my first wife, I'd be working on 35, 36. But yeah, I'm happier the way I am not having a 36 with her. They don't read books anymore. That's correct. Well, and usually the little screens have a whole bunch of stuff that's really not worth publishing to begin with. If it's something you could generally see published in a book and distributed as a paper book, then having it on a screen isn't a bad thing. A lot of what we do read, though, a lot of what we spend our time reading is stuff that has no merit to be in a book, like Facebook posts. But yeah, I saw someone's post, something to the effect of like paying homage to someone that died. And I just see that as disrespectful. Because in that context, the word that is generally only used for inanimate objects or animals. So that when you say those that died, you're not really talking about humans. Because humans, it should be those who died. Because you describe them as people, not as objects. That is an object. Who is a person. My mother taught me that when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, and I've been using it that way ever since. And to see it the other way, that's a facepalm moment for you. Retains information better from a paper page than from a backlit screen. I can believe that. I have no problem believing that. I have no indication that it's true, however. I'll take your word for it. Why not? Perhaps everyone should be learning their social etiquette from a book because they're incapable, evidently, of learning it from people. It used to be, many, many years ago, people would teach their children the tradition of etiquette one way or the other, how you put the forks and spoons on the table, how you're supposed to walk, having proper posture in a chair, how you speak to adults, how you answer a phone. All those things were considered the proper etiquette that a parent teaches their child. And now we have a lot of parents who believe everything should be taught by the school. So the schools are trying to cater to those people by not teaching children how to write. We're just going to teach them simple etiquette because the parents won't do it. So now you've got kids growing up who don't know how to write. And I'm not talking about in cursive. If you print everything down on paper, whatever, if you print it down in print, you're not writing. Writing is done in cursive. Kids who learn Common Core math. Right, correct. Because Common Core math is crap. Completely crap. They waste too much time teaching kids little magic tricks about how to do math and don't spend any time dealing with them in proper educational terms. Oh, they want me to do it? You don't want me doing it. Why did that jump like that? It shouldn't have jumped. Sorry about that. That's another one of our RPMs right there. 1952D. Beautiful RPM with a split upper and lower serif. Not much to it. It is pretty minor, but it is still a real RPM. Can't do basic algebra the old way. A lot of people who can't do basic anything the old way. Because people have decided that our generation is crazy, that we don't know anything. And they're going to teach children their way of doing everything. There's another one of those double dies. So here we are with kids who can't write. They can't add themselves out of a paper bag. And we're going to be voting for these kids for president in another 30 or 40 years. In the R? Let me look in the R. I'll look in the R. We'll see what's going on. Same coin again. There's our wicked awesome little T right there. I'll flip the coin all the way around to, I believe it's about here. No. Right over. I guess it was best like this, but when I get closer, I'll have to brighten things up a little bit. Because as you use less of your lens when magnifying things, it controls your aperture, which controls your exposure. You're using less of the ground that the light is shining on, so you have to make it brighter, all falsetto. I don't see anything but a little die scratch right here on the R. I don't see anything else in the R. But I definitely see a raised hump right here. It could be a gouge, yes. I'm not saying it is doubling. I'm saying it looks like doubling. It certainly looks much more like doubling than anything else I'm seeing these days. I don't know. Oh, the R. The R looks more like a gouge, yes. Could be a gouge. Yeah, you got this right here that looks like a little die scratch. You've got this thing comes out of here. That definitely looks like a die scratch. And there's nothing here that matches the shape of what there should be on a doubled R. I don't see anything in the U, but I definitely see it on the T. So this could be just another one of those dies that only shows doubling on the T. I mean, there's ones like it in 42, 48, a few other ones, I think. 46, I believe, has one or two of them. So, let me get the scope readjusted here. One moment. Please stand by. There we go. Work before I get to the next coin. It's bid number 45. This one goes to Mickey. 6 coins left. First out of 6 right here. Not a die variety that I can see. Here, let's look at number 46. This one will be for Carl. Another RPM. It's another one of the same RPM again. It's a minor split upper serif with a little split in the lower part too. Just going to have to come in just a little bit here. There we go. Actually, it looks like it may have a tripled upper serif. But man, they're close together. Bankrolls in Louisiana are spotty so far. Which bankrolls are you looking at there, Dan? I see this is one of the other die that appears to have a little dot going on here, plus something going on over here, and right inside here. I don't know. This may not be doubling, but definitely has a minor RPM associated with it. No. What year, Dan? What year? What kind of roll? Box of pennies from... You mean just a circulated box of pennies from Chase? Circulated pennies don't fare very well these days. I don't know exactly why, but you don't get... I mean, well, precisely why is because they're made of crap metal plated in an electroplate of copper, and as soon as that splits open, they start corroding. That's your biggest problem these days with the penny rolls that you're getting from the bank, is that most of them are not made of a real metal. They're made of zinc, which is, it's a metal that turns to powder. Turns to corrosion. Unlike copper. Copper doesn't turn to corrosion. Copper just turns brown. It oxidizes. But it doesn't rot. Zinc actually rots. There's another one from Mickey there. Let's look at coin number 49 here. Number 49 is going to be normal. Looks like I'm going to need to vacate as soon as I get finished with this, so I'm going to say now, bid you farewell. We will see you at 7 o'clock at the Roll Reveal Show. And the rolls that I will be doing this week will be picked after I leave this broadcast. But Eric, 1960D, a 1945S, a 1959D, and another roll I can't remember right now. And we'll see you at 7 o'clock for that show. I appreciate it. Thank you very much and have a great afternoon. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible die varieties to be checked. And oh, look at this. Here's the reverse of the coin I just did for Carl. This is the roll end coin. Really nice toning on this one. Like that. All right, folks. Oh, yeah, 59D, 55D, 45S, and 60D. So we'll see you in a couple hours for that show. Meanwhile, I'm going to turn the channel over to Eric and let him take it over. I'll see you guys later.